Well, hey, good evening, everyone. You guys, I thought that it would be a good thing to make a fun video tonight concerning 3 choice handguns of mine that I probably will never part with unless God asks me to. And that's that would be the only reason why I would ever sell these. They're here for self-defense. They're tools, and if I was in the position where I needed to reach for a pistol to defend my life, well, that's a terrible situation, but if things escalated to that extent, these are the 3 pistols that I would trust the most. Now, I don't have a 1911 here, and the simple reason why, capacity. The 45 ACP is a superior round, I believe that. Unless you're trying to penetrate hard barriers, then the 9mm tends to do a little bit better, but for tissue damage and just, kinetic energy, yes, Jeff Cooper made it clear the 45 has knockdown power, and they used to test back in 1911 and the years prior on animals, and it was found that the 45 ACP would pretty much put animals out of commission quicker. Now, 9mm is going to give you lots of advantages. For instance, in this Glock 17 Gen 2, I can hold 17 plus 1 rounds of 9mm. The frame is very light, and there's, in my opinion, no safety. Now, of course, there's internal safeties built in, and there's this trigger safety, but honestly, I don't really call that a safety. That's a way to get by and not have a safety, right? And if you notice, even though I have a Beretta book that this is sitting on, this is actually a Taurus, which is made on Beretta tooling in Brazil by the Taurus factory. And this one has a safety like a 1911, instead of putting the safety up on the slide like a Beretta would. So this is my preferred choice, even though I confess the Beretta is a higher pedigree, and I've owned a very nice Beretta. I have a video on this channel about it. I sold that pistol a few years back. Point being, though, I kept this one because I preferred the 1911 style safety that is ambidextrous. And this gives me the ability to just flip it. And interestingly enough, this is a loaded gun, by the way. You get 18 rounds in this one. I only have 17 in there right now. And I'll go ahead and check my chamber, which we see is empty. Well, this little function, it functions as a safety, and then nothing, and then it functions as a decocker, and it decocks. But you have a 1911 style safety on a Beretta, which is real easy to flip on and off. And that's what I really like about this design. And unlike the Beretta, they are actually putting a metal guide rod already inside the gun. Now, you are getting an aluminum lower, and honestly, I'm okay with that. If they were to make it out of steel, it probably would be even heavier, and I probably would go for it, but this is nice. I'm okay with it. The Glock, they're the first polymer gun, and they're the only polymer gun I'm ever going to buy. I'm not interested in polymer. The gun that I carry the most out of all these is my Sig Sauer P232, the 380, and I only get 7 plus 1. I have 8 shots with this gun, so I always carry an extra mag. But this is a very comfortable gun to carry, and it's nice. I mean, it's a very nice gun. Now, the tip that I want to give y'all, these are the 3 that I pretty much, this is my bedside gun. This is my pistol that I take in my vehicle when I might actually be in a dangerous environment. And as you can see, I've upgraded this gun. Let me speak about that before I get any further. This is a Gen 2, which is my favorite of Glock's pistols. I've changed the sights. I've put a solid steel rear sight with a dot, and as you can see, it's the dot that's peened in. So it's the better dot. It's not going to get knocked off. There's a steel rod inside it right there. This is a Gen 2. I have the sticker, the grip sticker. It has the spine grip on the back. Here's what I like about the Gen 2. It's a one-pin design that the Gen 5 has gone back to. This is clear. I know on a Glock, I have to point it in a safe direction and squeeze the trigger, then it'll come apart. See if I can, yep, I can do that right here. As you can see, I've made some changes. I have a one-piece stainless steel guide rod, and that's what I've done. And I've also replaced the slide catch with one that protrudes a little bit more, just so it's easier to grip. So I have the sticker, the slide catch. I also have a Ghost. I believe it's a 3-pound connector. And I've polished all these internals, if you can see, with a Dremel. The idea is not to remove material, but just polish the surfaces. Very smooth. I don't know if you can see the light reflecting off of that. On the Gen 2s, there's more real estate in the metal back here. It's just, in my opinion, a better built gun. I don't care about the rail. I'm okay with that. I have the extra rail on the Beretta if I wanted to put a light on there, and I don't put a light on there. I actually would prefer if this Beretta was like this one in the picture here without the rail. I just don't have any reason to put a light. That's more weight to me. But I prefer the safety system on the Taurus, so much so that I sold my Beretta, and this one shot about an inch group at 25 yards from a vise. So it's a very accurate gun. And so is the Glock. Truth be told, both of these pistols I shoot about equally the same. I've had competitions with myself to see which one I could shoot better. It was a throw up either way. But with that being said, the SIG 232 is my daily carry because I'm not always going to carry a full-size pistol. Like I said, bedside, high risk. If I'm out driving or going somewhere, I'll grab this. And this is my daily carry. Honestly, you guys, I've gotten a little bit, I don't want to say I'm not lazy. It's just a discipline I don't carry all that often anymore. I always have a gun in my glove box, but I typically will just carry maybe twice a week right now. I need to change my ways and start carrying every day again. It's just something I need to do. But the tip in this video that I want everybody to benefit from is going to be what you can do with clear nail polish and Swiss watch loom. For instance, here's a watch. It's a Seiko. It's a Dive series watch. It's a favorite watch of mine. It's self-winding. There's no batteries in this watch. It's a real watch. If I put it up to a light, then the hands are going to glow. And you can't see that right now because it's too bright, but trust me, they're glowing. I'm going to hold it up to the light again. You'll see it in a minute. Or maybe I can even kind of cup my hand and show you. It's glowing in there, you see. All right. So that watch loom, you can actually purchase the loom, and then you can get clear nail polish, and it's powderized. You can buy it on Amazon. And then you empty the packet of that into like some clear nail polish, and then you take like a dentistry tool or a spike or the end of some kind of a sharp, like a metal throwing dart or something, and what you can do is you can scrape out all the paint that was inside the little sights on a pistol, and I've done that on both of these, where I've put the watch loom in there. And if you look on this one, that's watch loom, and it dries, and you do multiple coats. And let me show y'all, I'm gonna have to turn off the light here, but let me show y'all. Let me hold this pistol up to my light for a second. The SIG 232, which, very nice gun. It's worth the money. If you see one of these, I know they're harder to find. Turn off the light. And as you can see, it's glowing. And there's bright lights in here right now. If I was to turn off the main light, they really glow. And I can demonstrate that real quick. Give me a second. So now you can see they're really glowing, and even the canister's kind of glowing. I don't think that comes out on camera as well as it should. Let me turn my light back on here. But anyways, y'all get the idea. Running into my desk here. So this is definitely a really good idea if you're wanting to have some night sights but not pay for, like, you know, tritium or something that's going to cost $150, because you can do this for like $10 or maybe 15. I don't remember. I think the little packet of lume was like maybe $7 or $8, and you can get higher qualities of that too. But I tell you what, those sights, they glow really bright. Trust me, the camera's not giving it justice. If you hit this with a bright flashlight, you're going to be glowing for 15 minutes or so. So I really like this SIG. It just fits the hand perfect, and there's no safety. That means if anything went wrong, and this gun's hot this entire time. I've known it's hot. I don't mess with triggers. You know, once you put one through your wall once, you'll learn you never mess with triggers. The only gun that you need to mess with a trigger is a Glock, because it's part of the disassembly. But this gun, as you can see, is loaded. And this gun stays loaded because this is a duty gun. So, and these magazines, I've gone out of my way to buy steel floor plates and make this as nice as I can, because I would trust my life with this pistol. And then when I have it in a case that I carry appendix, I have kind of an oversized case, so it kind of covers up that it's a pistol. It's not really seen, and this fits pretty deep, kind of in the waist, so it's not something that's easily seen. And the trigger's completely covered, and that's my theory of carry right there. But every now and then I'm in a situation where, you know, this is a higher probability situation, and I'll get a Glock, my 17, and I have a holster like that, and now I have real firepower on my hands, you know, much more real than the 380. I mean, you know, a well-placed shot with this would do the job, but if you're in a heated scenario where your heart's racing and you're trying to hold a gun steady, you're gonna want that 17 to 18 round capacity. And 9mm is just fine. And then for home defense, like I said, I prefer this Beretta 92 clone, and I have extra magazines, and, you know, I just keep 3 magazines. You know, what is that? It's like 17 plus 17 plus 17. I mean, it's +1. So that's a lot of rounds. And I feel pretty comfortable with that. But I just wanted to give you all that tip. If you can get clear nail polish and get powdered Swiss watch lume, and then you get a dentistry tool or a throwing dart or something and you scrape out, you can even take a 1/16 drill bit and you can drill in and go deeper. But you can see, I mean, that stuff is, I can see it right now. It's glowing. And then, trust me, if we weren't on video, it really pops. So it's a lot brighter than tritium, actually. So, but it only lasts for about 15 minutes. And towards the end of that, it's growing dim. But if you had a way to hit your pistol with a light real quick, then this is great. If you don't, buy the tritium. Or if you're on a budget like me and just, and this gun here, I don't really have an option, you know. It's built into the gun. And I know today they're putting dovetails on them, but you get the idea. Well, these are 3 favorite pistols of mine. This is definitely for defense more in the human audience. If I was out hiking on a trail, I'd have a 44 Magnum or a 357 Magnum or a 10mm or 357 SIG with some full metal jackets for deeper penetration, but for bear country or something like that. So, well, until next time, like, comment, subscribe. Y'all take it easy. Thanks for tuning into my channel, and I just felt that I should do a nice old-fashioned gun video for y'all. Y'all take it easy. I've been so busy making biblical videos lately, and I hope y'all are doing well. Until next time.